but those are the things that matter. Like, those are the things that your students remember. Those are the things that help to like build your relationship with them. I have to grade 23 tests. Then I have to go through and bubble in 32 answers for 23 tests. And it's frustrating because I care so much about them. Good morning, YouTube. I will be completely honest with you guys. I barely did anything school related this weekend, and I don't feel bad about it, like, at all, because I know with the week that I had last week, the last thing I needed to do was stress myself out over the weekend and overwork myself. I needed to take time for myself, and I feel much better going in today. I feel much more positive. I have to say, you guys were so supportive on my last vlog. I'm so appreciative of all of you because you made me feel so much better. So on Saturday, I got up and I went to a dentist appointment. I took my mom out to lunch. I went to Target, as you guys saw in my last video. And then I came home, and that was basically all I did for the night. Completely enjoyed my night watching Netflix, relaxing. And then Sunday, my boyfriend had to work first thing in the morning until 11. So I slept in, completely enjoyed that. Then him and I went to his mom's for breakfast. It was like a breakfast brunch. And then after that, we had to run some errands. Like, we went to the grocery store, came back home, he took a nap, and I sat there on social media. Like, I did nothing productive. And then we went out to dinner, and I did not start lesson planning until like 9 o'clock. But I sat there for 2 hours. I got my lesson plans done for the entire week, almost. I have just a couple small gaps to fill in. And that was it. And I am not going to apologize for that, because I shouldn't do any work on the weekends. Like, for me to sit there and do 2 hours of lesson planning, I think is good enough, because I don't have to do that on the weekends at all if I don't want to. I'm gonna go get some coffee. It's like 7:30, so I'm definitely not gonna be the first one at school by any means, but that's okay. I wanted to sleep in. I will catch up with you guys when I get there. I am now at school, so I need to unpack this Target bag of the stuff I got over the weekend. And I just wanted to show you guys, like, hashtag end of the year teacher tired. These are what my lesson plans look like for the week. I made like a to-do list, and then I literally just bulleted out like my schedule for each day of the week on this like random notepad I had sitting in my office, because I just didn't feel like actually typing out lesson plans. And at this point of the year, there's so much going on with testing and with different assemblies and things like that, that I just type out a schedule, and that's all I really need. So this is for today. We are going to review for math, which thankfully one of my team teachers made a review PowerPoint, so I had nothing to prep for that. We are going to review vocabulary from last week and take a quiz. I'm going to do a read aloud, and currently we are reading Wayside School is Falling Down, and I've actually never read this to one of my classes before, but I am absolutely loving it. It's so like strange, but it is really funny, and my kids are really liking it too. Then we have junior achievement, and that's where there is a volunteer that comes in and teaches a class for that 45 minutes, and it's just kind of about like your community and jobs, and it's kind of a really cool, almost like introduction to like finance type of things for kids. So I always really enjoy that. Usually I have it in March, but this year they couldn't find volunteers, so I'm just now having it, which I'm not complaining about at all. Then recess. Then I'm going to introduce homophone. Sorry, it took me a second there. And we have lunch at a later time today because 4th grade is doing park testing. So I'm going to introduce it with some videos, show some posters, show some examples. After lunch, they are going to make a pair of pairs, so that's what this is. I just quickly made this up on PowerPoint. The clip art is from EduClips. They're going to write the word here, draw a picture, use it in a sentence, and then same thing for their other word. And for those, I literally just wrote them again on these scraps of paper I had seen in my office, and I color-coded them by difficulty. So some of the easier ones are on the pink, and then they get harder as you go, and that way I'll be able to differentiate really quickly when I'm handing them out to my kids. After that, today is F day for our countdown, so we're going to eat goldfish, and I think I'm going to give those to my students when I do my read aloud, and then we are going to fly frisbee. So I have the frisbee time right before PE. We will go to PE, pack up, and then we are at the end of the day. It is now the end of lunch. I couldn't really vlog because I had friends for lunch bunch, but so far behavior is not bad today. My students are now in PE, so I thought I would quickly just show you what my room looks like currently. It's actually not too bad. I have Panda Bucks that were turned in for the incentive because they got their 100. This was my example from the pair of pairs. This is work that I have to send home with a student who was absent today. Extra goldfish that we ate earlier, so I'm going to send them home with the student who brought them in. Frisbee, which we have not even had our Frisbee time yet. I told my students we can try to do it after PE, but we're only going to have like 10 minutes. So far they have not earned it yet today. I have my lesson plans for the rest of the week. Sad excuse for lesson plans, but still. And then my classwork bin just has the pairs in it, which actually my kids did a really good job. Like I was really impressed with it. So I'm going to try to get those like attached together so that I can have my volunteer hang them up on Friday. It is now the afternoon and the day is basically over. When my class comes back, we're going to try to go outside and throw Frisbees. If not, it's dismissal time in like 10 minutes anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Good news is my room is not as hot, so they had a maintenance person come in this morning. When my students went out to recess, I was the teacher staying in, and he was able to get up in the ceiling and fix it. So he took out some weird part that was all like corroded. It was really gross, but he was able to get the heat off. I still don't have air conditioning, but the heat is off, which makes a huge difference, and he's gonna try to come in later in the week and get the air on as well. So I'm so much happier. My friend from last week actually is not here today, which I was kind of looking forward to seeing him because he had a really good day on Friday. And I was like looking forward to trying to keep that going, but it's okay. Hopefully he will be back tomorrow and we can have a good rest of the week.
Can't remember the last time I went without you.
Okay, I know the lighting is horrible, so I apologize. It's 4:45 and I'm in my car. I just got back to school after running an errand. So let me kind of backtrack. Right after school, we technically had a faculty meeting, but it was just grade level like PLC team planning. And all of my grade level teachers had already left, so it was just me. I sat in my room and tried to be as productive as possible. Then I remembered that I needed to go out and track down one of these stupid fidget spinners, and I never thought I would say that. But last week I showed you guys that spinner activity that I did with my class using these for subtraction sentences, and I had a ton of people request and I put it in my store. My goal is to get it posted tonight. However, I realized that I needed one of these to take product photos. What I do with it after that, I have no idea. Maybe I will use it as an incentive that my students can earn and they can use it for the day. I don't know. But I tracked one down at 7-Eleven where my students told me to go, and I'm now back at school. So I'm gonna go back inside and try to be productive again. So here's where we are at with things. I tried to download an app onto the iPads. That way we can use it to film with the green screen tomorrow because we could not get to that today. And actually I haven't even picked it up from the apartment office yet, oops. But the Wi-Fi here is not letting it download, so I'm gonna have to take home the iPads tonight and get that app downloaded. I went ahead and threw away the lesson planning sheet from today, so I have the one ready for tomorrow. I have everything done and ready to go for tomorrow with the exception of the green screen app, which I already talked about, my fidget spinner that I'm going to take home with me, and then these are just some quick cause and effect cards that I made. So this week we are reading the book Fireflies. This is part of May Rooted in Reading, and one of the reading skills for this book is cause and effect. So I'm going to use the posters that are in the Rooted in Reading pack. I'm also going to show my students a vocabulary video on cause and effect, and then I'm going to give them each one of these cards, and they are going to match and try to find their partner. So one of them will be the cause, one of them will be the effect. They will find their partner, and then they will try to decide who has the card for the cause and who has the card for the effect. I literally typed these up in like 30 seconds. It's not the most creative lesson, but it will work to at least introduce it. And this is currently what is keeping me sane right now. I do have a couple of things on my to-do list, but those are all things I can get done at home. So the last thing I have to do before I leave for the day is stuff Tuesday folders. My mailman was absent today, but good news is I had another student step in and they stuffed all of the papers into my mailboxes for me, and I cannot wait to send these home with my students because as you can see, some of the pictures were like too long to fit in the mailboxes and it's been driving me nuts just staring at it. So one more thing I've got to do before I leave is go ahead and stuff Tuesday folders so that they are ready for tomorrow.
Where do I go? I go? Where do I go from here?
Okay, it is 6:30 and I'm ready to get out of here. I have no idea what I've been doing for the past 3 hours because I feel like I really haven't gotten that much done, but I've just been moving so slow today. However, another Monday down, there's only 4 left. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I do have a couple of things on my to-do list. However, I don't need them for tomorrow. I don't need them until like the end of the week. So if I get them done tonight, fantastic. If I don't, it's not really a big deal. My priority tonight is getting the fidget spinner activity finalized. I am gonna stop at a couple places on my way home. I think I'm gonna make a Home Goods run because I just really wanna go to Home Goods. I'm also gonna go to Barnes & Noble and I'm gonna treat myself to a book, and that is gonna be what I do for myself this week for the Teacher 3. I might also go to Dollar Tree because I have to start brainstorming my end of the year gifts for my students. So I will catch up with you guys in the morning. I might show you a couple of clips from my errands that I run, but if not, I will see you guys in the morning. So story of my life, I was sitting on the couch all comfy, finishing up my dinner, and then I had a thought of getting treats for my students for their math test tomorrow, so now I'm walking to Target. All right, mission accomplished. Morning. Good morning. I have a confession to make. I did not finish those fidget spinner boards for TPT last night. I tried really hard. I did get a lot done. I stayed up until 12:30, but I just couldn't get it all done. And I would rather wait another day to post it and make sure that it is perfect than like rush and get it up, because the quality of my products is one thing that is really important to me. Part of the reason that I did not finish is because I was randomly inspired to go to Target and get treats for my students for testing and like make cute tags for them and all that. So I am happy I did that, because I feel like when I was in college and I would look on Pinterest and look at like boards on teaching, you know, you would see all those cute little notes that the teachers would leave the students. And I remember saying like, oh, I'm always gonna do those. And reality is that doesn't happen because I'm either too busy, too tired, don't have enough time, whatever. But those are the things that matter. Like, those are the things that your students remember. Those are the things that help to like build your relationship with them. So I'm happy that I did it. I'm gonna go get coffee and I will catch up with you guys when I get to school. So I literally just got to school and my desk is already a hot mess. I swear I left it nice and neat yesterday when I left. These are the tags that I ended up making last night. So I bought Smarties and Dum Dums, and this one says, good luck Smarty Pants, you will do great on this test. And then this one says, you are no Dum Dum, and it has the same little message at the bottom. So I'm gonna give them the Smarty Pants one today and then the Dum Dum one tomorrow. Best part is I have extra Dum Dums and Smarties, which is fantastic because my candy bin has like nothing left. My kids are picking from the scraps. So now I have some candy to add. I did want to quickly show you the app that I'm using for the green screen. It's called TouchCast and it's pretty easy to use. What I really like is you can upload like a video background, and there you go. There's the camera, and then you go here to green screen. I can show you guys like a more in-depth tutorial on that if you are interested. So I brought this like tripod type thing. I don't even know what to call this. That way I can film with the iPad. Now, this is actually the same tripod that I used in the video where I was doing my FaceTime interview. So it's made to hold like an iPhone, and I don't really have an adapter for an iPad. I need to get one. So here's what I'm resorting to. I'm just going to like hang it like that because I literally have no other option. This is the green screen. I need to go ahead and unpack the box because I was too tired to do that last night. I just brought the whole box in. And of course I go to my mailbox and I have more papers to add to Tuesday folders. So before my kids come in, or at least while they're in here, it just has to be before we take our math test, I have to take down all of the number lines and number grids that are in my classroom. So I have those posters back here. And then I also have a 120 poster up here by my bins. And I'm honestly so super sad for my kids because they get to use these for the first 2 assessments. And we actually have like personal sized ones that are in these drawers, and they're in like dry erase sleeves. So my kids can write on them with dry erase markers. They get to use those for the first 2 math tests that we take that are like county assessments. And then suddenly this last one, which is harder and covers stuff that we haven't even really taught yet, my kids don't get to use it. And I just feel like that's so unfair. You teach them how to use these tools and then you take it away for their test. Like, it's, don't even get me started on it. So this is a green screen that I got. I got it from Amazon, so I will add it to my Amazon store, but it was less than $20, which is fantastic. It's really just like a green curtain, if we're being honest. Like, you can use any kind of green fabric. You can even use green butcher paper. Like, you do not have to go out and get a fancy green screen. You guys can keep it simple. It will work. I figured I'd go ahead and invest in this. That way I'm going to use it for the next couple years, and I do want it to be something that holds up. And then it did come with these couple of clamps that you can use to help hold it on your board. I have never been so excited to see my room in the 60s. This feels so good in comparison to the 86 degrees that it's been.
How are you supposed to get it? Punch him out. Punch him out. Yeah. Like, punch him out. Oh, here. Color. For faces. Okay. Oh, I'll help you. Okay, you're the defector. Okay. Here.
3, 2, 1. Freeze. Your hands go on your head. Hands on your head.
All right, it is now lunchtime, and it has felt like such a long morning, partially because we are eating lunch 35 minutes later than normal. Instead of eating at 12:10, we're eating at 12:45 because of park testing. I think our last day for that is Thursday, and it's kind of nice because then the afternoon is much shorter, but it has been a very, very lengthy morning. We basically did our math test. We had junior achievement, and that was it. We went outside for recess, and I gave my kids extra recess because when they have to sit there and take a test for an hour and 15 minutes, it's brutal, especially because they have to do it again tomorrow. But I have to say, like, they did a really nice job. No one broke down. Everyone, like, tried their best. Yes, it was really, really hard, and some of them were really, really lost, but overall they impressed me with just like their work ethic. Plus I had some kids that I wasn't expecting to do as well as they did, so that's a really good feeling. Then we had junior achievement, and they kind of learned about like almost like an assembly line. Like, they had to make donuts, and they had to put the stickers for like the different ingredients, and then they had to color it for the flavor, and that was really cool. My students always enjoy that. For the afternoon, we are going to do the green screen filming, and we are going to do just a couple like seat assignments while I'm helping my students to film with the green screen, because it's the first time that they have done that. But hopefully it should be a nice, easy afternoon. Overall behavior hasn't been that bad, especially considering they had to sit quietly so long during that test. So I'm going to go enjoy my lunch, and then I will catch up with you guys when my class goes to music. Quiet on the set. All right, Knuckles, I will give you the sign.
This is Knuckles speaking live. It was 3 little cavaliers, the big bad,
Good job, Knuckles.
and they all lived happily ever after. Now back to Miss Ferré.
I wanted to quickly show you guys the setup I had for the green screen. Honestly, it was so easy. I had this ready to go in less than 3 minutes, and that was taking it out of the box. So I used the clamps that came with it, and I just clipped it up here at the top of the board. I did have a stool for my students to sit on because I needed them to be a little bit lower than standing, just so that the camera matched up with their face. I put this desk here, and I put my tripod right on top. I hung the iPad, and I did have this light-up microphone that I got from the Target Dollar Spot a couple of years ago for them to use. And then their scripts, I literally just held it right here above the iPad when they were filming. That way they could read directly off of it. And you could have your students do that in partners as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what the app looks like. like. So again, the app is called TouchCast and it is a free app. When you open it up, you're just gonna start a new project and then you will have a screen like this. Now the camera down here, it can swap both ways, so you can have it front facing or you can have it facing out. So I obviously want mine facing out. Then for the green screen, you come down here to effects and then you can turn it off and on. So when it's on, that's when you will actually see whatever picture or video you have imported. So you can go here to pictures. And the app actually comes with some pre-made ones, but you can also go to any that you have in your camera roll in your albums. And then you can also do video as well. So you click video. And again, there are some pre-made ones, but you also can go to your Google Drive, you can go to Dropbox, OneDrive, any of those things. You can also go straight to YouTube. You can type in a video and you can select it from there. So I'm just gonna go back because I already have mine on there, but once I start recording, this was actually a video that had all kinds of different desert scenes, so they kind of pop up as it goes along. So if you have any questions about this, leave a comment and I will do my best to help you. Again, you don't even have to use a real green screen. You can use green paper, you can use green cloth or fabric that you get at like Walmart. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's a free app. It's super easy to set up. I do recommend playing with it ahead of time just so you get to use it and you kind of know how it works. But still, I definitely recommend you try it out because your students think that it is absolute magic. It is now after school. My room isn't horrible, but it could probably be a lot better. I just have like folders that students left and things that are just kind of like laying out that my students don't put away. And I was gonna say I don't know why it bothers me, but I do know why it bothers me. It's because I'm very OCD and it just drives me crazy. My desk isn't too bad. I have unfinished papers and I need to put their pieces into bags for ketchup and pickles because cut and paste activities just drive me nuts when they are not finished. I have a random library book that my students found and no one said that it was theirs. More unfinished work and pieces that I need to put in a bag. Study guides that were turned in today. I've handed out the Panda Box, but I need to go through and grade them. And then I also need to go through my classwork bin, pull out what is not finished, and grade what is. My classroom looks at least a little bit better. I went ahead and passed out their treats for tomorrow before the test. I don't want to worry about trying to do it in the morning because I will have my PLC meeting and I won't get in here until right before they're going to take the test, and I don't want to be stressed out trying to hand these out, and I don't want my students to have sticky lollipop hands while I pass out the test. Classwork bin and homework bin are both empty. My ketchup and pickle papers are all sorted out and ready to go for Friday. My desk is nice and clear. My grade bin is empty. These are actually already graded. I just hold on to them as like an answer key until the rest of my students turn them in. These are just like my lesson plans and my to-do list, and I'm gonna leave them here. And other than that, we are good to go. I still need to figure out this library book, but I think I'm just going to turn it into the media center. All right, I'm getting out of here. It's almost 5 o'clock. Usually on Tuesdays, I stay until like 5:45 and I will meet my boyfriend at the gym. However, he is not gonna be home until 8 o'clock tonight. He actually has finals. He is still finishing up his bachelor's and he is trying to study and meet with friends to like go over stuff. So I'm not gonna see him till later on, but it's actually okay because I need to get out of here and go home because I have a piece of mail being delivered to my apartment building, and if I don't get there soon, they're gonna close and I'm not gonna be able to get it. So I'm gonna go grab that, and then my one goal for tonight is to finish that spinner activity for TPT. I promise you the next time I talk to you guys, it will be done. Okay, you guys, I am so excited about these. So these are essentially large plastic magnetic pockets that you can put on your filing cabinet or your dry erase board. These are from the company STOREX, which if you guys have seen those black mailboxes that are in my classroom, it is the same company. STOREX makes those mailboxes, and I didn't realize, but they contacted me. They actually have an entire, sorry, my cat. They have an entire catalog that are all educational products, and they're all made for classrooms. So I'm gonna link that for you guys down in the description, and I will link their website and all that for you. I am so excited to use these, so I will make sure that I show you what I use them for when I get to my classroom tomorrow. Good morning. I am very, very, very happy to report that my fidget spinner math activity is done. It is posted, and honestly, I'm really excited about it. Like, when I finish a product that I've worked really, really hard on, and I feel like I've covered all my bases and included like as much as I can include, it's just a really good feeling. And I'm excited because I've had people tell me how much they love it. So if you saw it in my vlog last week and you are interested, it is now down in the description for you guys. I'm laughing because you guys don't realize this, but in the morning when I come out to my car, probably about 50% of the time, the sun is coming in my windshield at like a really strange angle, and I can't film. So I end up just driving to like the other side of the parking lot here at my apartment complex and reparking so that I can film these. It's about 7:10. I am headed to school. I have my PLC meeting this morning. Of course, I'm going to get coffee, and then I probably won't catch up with you guys until like lunchtime, because PLC mornings, I'm always in a really big rush when I get there and I don't have time to vlog. But I will catch you guys at lunch. This, you guys, I can't even turn in because there's so many people. So if I don't film myself ordering my coffee in the morning, it's probably because there's like an 80% chance that I also ordered donuts and didn't want you to know about it. So I just got to school and remembered that today is H for our ABC countdown, which is hat day. Did I bring a hat to wear? Nope. Okay, so here's where we're at with things. It is lunchtime, but half my lunch is already over. Let me kind of back up. So first thing this morning, we had the last part of our math assessment. It was hard. Like, I felt bad because there's just questions on there that literally are not in our math curriculum, and I just really felt for them. Then I got an email from the lady who was supposed to come for junior achievement, and she said she couldn't come today, which is fine, but I would have liked to have known in advance so I could have planned something for that time. But because my students spent over an hour testing this morning, I did a read aloud, and I read aloud a couple extra chapters. And then we played Heads Up 7-Up because my kids were wiped out just like mentally from taking the test. It was almost recess time. I had junior achievement canceled, so we played Heads Up 7-Up and I don't feel bad about it. Went outside for recess, and it is 90 degrees today. So a lot of my kids were just like miserable. So coming in from recess, everyone was just very irritable. Like, you know that feeling when you're really hot and just bothered. So started to have some behavior problems right before lunch, and I had two students in particular. One of them was my friend from last week. So I took my class into the cafeteria, and I sat each of those two students at different like tables kind of in the back away from everyone, because sometimes we need to just have a break and kind of sit by ourselves, and it helps. So first I talked to my friend from last week, and he's still like, he was just so angry, I guess from like getting in trouble. And you know, I was trying to talk to him, I was trying to reason with him, and he was just screaming at me. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave that for now. I went over to the other student. He had already calmed down, so we kind of talked very quickly, and then he was fine. So I let him go get his lunch, and I let him sit back at the regular table. And I just kind of looked at the other friend. He still looked like angry. So I left the cafeteria. I literally walked halfway down the hallway, and I was like, no, I don't want to leave it like that. I know that it's not gonna help at all in the afternoon. Like, I'm just gonna start to have problems again. So I went back, and at that point, already within those like 2 minutes that I had been gone, he had started to like cry because he was just upset. So I sat down with him, and I was like, look, I love you, I care about you. I know that you don't want it to be like this. I don't want it to be like this either. And I told him, I said, I know you feel angry about getting upset. And I tried to tell him, I was like, that's how I feel when you're treating me that way, when you're being disrespectful. And so he calmed down. We kind of like both cried together. We hugged it out. It was all good. I helped him get his lunch, and he sat down. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it will be a better afternoon. Now, I have 15 minutes of my lunch left. However, I forgot my lunch today because I was gonna bring my leftover Chipotle because that's what I had for dinner last night, and I still had half my bowl left. And first thing this morning, I go, okay, I need to go get my Chipotle, and then I left my apartment without it, and I didn't realize it until I was halfway to school, and it was too late to go back and get it. So I do have a little thing of like crackers in my purse. I'm gonna eat those, but hoping the afternoon will be better, hoping that once everyone has kind of cooled off and they've eaten their lunch and they're happy again, that we can have a smoother afternoon. So here is the afternoon in summary. Classwork bin is empty because we have not gotten anything done. I have confiscated 2 hats, and within the 45 minutes that we had after lunch before PE, I got this book read out loud, and that's all I did. I'm gonna try to keep this short so that I can try to stay positive about it. In summary, the afternoon has been rough. Again, the same friends who had trouble before lunch, they came back fine, like walking my line, they were beautiful, and I was like, yes, it worked. No, we get in the classroom and 5 minutes later, they're starting the same thing. So the one friend who, Chuckles, sorry, forgot to mention that. So Chuckles, he just needed to take a break. Like he needed to go somewhere else because he is one, hence why he's called Chuckles, who likes to make his friends laugh. Like he is the class clown. So he just needed a break. He needed to go somewhere else. I tried to send him across the hall. He wouldn't go. Tried to call mom. Left a voicemail, tried to send him to ISS, again, not as like a punishment, but like he just needed to go somewhere else. He needed a break. He went, she wasn't there because she was handling a behavior problem elsewhere in the school. Thankfully, he came back, he sat at the back table, and he just did the stuff that I gave him, and all was well. My friend from last week, again, just kind of started like acting up again, and it wasn't bad. It was just like, he wanted attention, and like that's not how you get my attention. So I waited until the class went to PE. I kept him out. We had another heart-to-heart, just like we did in the cafeteria. Like we literally sat on the floor, talked it out. He cried, we hugged, it was all good. Now, when he comes back from PE, I have no idea if it will actually work, but I'm not trying to sound negative. It's just frustrating because I lost half my lunch. I've lost half my planning time because I'm trying to like just de-escalate these issues, and like I'm just trying to sit there and tell him like, look, I love you, I care about you, and you need to do better because I love you and care about you. Like I want the best for you, and it's hard because I cannot control their actions ultimately. Like I can influence them, but I can't control them, and it's just, I don't know. I'm exhausted and it's only Wednesday. Like I'm trying to stay positive because it could have been worse. Like it wasn't as bad as last week, so I am grateful for that, and I'm going to count my blessings for that. But I only have 15 minutes left of my planning time now. I need to get a letter typed up about field day, but I'm kind of still working out details for that, so chances are it's not going to go home today, just realistically. But I'm going to at least try to get it started. Thankfully, I don't have any grading to do, so there's the bright side, I guess.
Can't remember the last time I went without you. Where do I go? Where do I go? How will I know? How will I know? I used to walk these roads with you.
It is now after school, so let me kind of backtrack a little bit. The last like 15-20 minutes of my planning time, I did get the field trip letters written and printed, but I did not send them out because it was just a hectic end of the day, but it's done. I also went through my lesson planning binder and updated my calendars. Now I had at one point a separate calendar for work and then a separate calendar for like my business, like scheduling videos. Somehow they merged onto the same calendar. I have no idea how that happened, but I went through and updated it all, which made me feel better. It made my OCD feel a lot better. Picked up my classroom PE, came in, they were doing a decent job. 1 or 2 minutes later, one of the students from my team teachers class comes in my room and she says, there's no teacher in our room. So my team teacher went home sick after testing this morning. She only came in because of testing. She went home sick. They did not have a sub to fill the job, so they had to just have assistants cover. No one came to pick up her class from PE, so I'm thankful that they went back to the room, saw there was no one there, and were responsible enough to come into my room. So I brought them all in, sat them on my carpet, told my class and their class that it was a game, and whoever could stay quieter, I would give the entire class each a panda buck, because I'm not above bribery at this point. Called the office so that they could get coverage. A couple minutes later, Coverage came, that class went. I gave them each a panda buck because they did a nice job. My class was quiet and I was going to give them each a panda buck too, but as soon as the other class left, they started talking again. So no. Then I get a call from the office informing me that the same student who had the issues last week, who I had two heart-to-hearts with today, one of them right before PE, got an office referral. I don't know what he did. I don't think I want to know what he did, but it's just frustrating that it's like I spent half my lunch talking to you to let you know that I care about you, but you need to make better choices. And I believe that you can do it because you've showed me that it's gotten better. Same talk right before PE. I spent 15 minutes of my planning time talking to him, having a heart-to-heart with him, hugging him, letting him know that I care about him, but he's got to make better choices. And then he goes to PE and he gets a referral. And it's just frustrating because it's like, I don't know what else to do. Like, I feel like I'm trying to be there for them emotionally and just let them know that I care about them, but also let them know what my expectations are. And it's not fixing anything. And I'm just, I'm gonna let it go because I don't want to go on a rant. But it's now after school and I have a pretty lengthy to-do list. I am gonna stay late tonight because my boyfriend works and it works out. I don't mind staying. Like, I put on videos and podcasts and all that, and it's just kind of relaxing. So I have to grade all of those cumulative assessments that my students took the last 2 days. And that sucks because not only do I have to grade them, but I have to bubble in the Scantrons for all of them because in second grade, they do not bubble their own Scantrons, at least here. That means I have to grade 23 tests. Then I have to go through and bubble in 32 answers for 23 tests. Not even including, I also still have things to do for later in the week. Like, I need to prep some stuff for math stations for tomorrow. My kids are basically just gonna play games after 2 days of testing, but I have to get a couple materials ready for that. I don't know, I just have a couple like odds and ends that I need to do in my room. So I'm gonna go get started on that. I will catch up with you guys later on.
Where do I go? Where do I go from here? Where do I go? Where do I go from here? Where do I go? Where do I go? How will I know? How will I know? I used to want these problems with you. Can't remember the last time I went without you. Where do I go? Where do I go?
Okay, you guys, last night I showed you these magnetic pockets that I got in the mail from STOREX. And let me just tell you, after putting them in my classroom, these are one of those things where I'm sitting here thinking, how on earth did I survive without these? They are seriously one of the greatest things like ever to come into my classroom. So here's what I have done with them. I have two of them right here on the side of my desk. I used to have this sign there, but I started to think about it and I was like, look, I can keep a cute little sign there and sure, it looks good, or I can actually have the side of my desk be functional. And in a classroom, you have a lot of stuff. Like, that is one thing I can guarantee you is you have a lot of stuff. Maybe not your first year, but every year you get more and more stuff and you need creative ways to store it. So I have put two on the side of my desk. These labels right here are from my STERILITE drawer labels. They're the ones for the big ones, like these same labels. So I just used the black ones, printed them out, laminated them, and then stuck them on with clear tape. So I will link those for you down in the description if you don't already own them. If you do own them, this is definitely another way you could use them. So first one has calendar pieces, which let me just tell you why this is amazing. So these are all of my months for my calendar, which previously I had back here in a cabinet because I could not find a good way to store them because they're so long, but these pockets are literally the perfect size. So it holds all of those, and then I went ahead and put my calendar pieces there. And I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you have to go to the back of the room to get your calendar pieces, it wastes time. And when you do that every single month, like, it adds up. So just having them right here next to the calendar is going to be a huge time saver. Underneath, I have another pocket, and this one has my schedule cards. So inside, it just has all of the cards that I will put up on the board. And one of the reasons I put that one down low is because a lot of times I have my students change them out for me. So it's nice and convenient for them. Previously, I had them down here in this little black basket, but it wasn't long enough to fit the schedule cards. So they were always like folded weird ways, and it was bothering me. So I like this a lot better because it fits all of them perfectly and it will be easy for my students to access. Over here, I have two more. These are seriously perfect for the side of your filing cabinet. Like this whole area was just like gray and ugly, and I love now like these cute pockets, and they're just black and like classic looking, and I love it. So this top one has all of my focus wall pieces. So this is my focus wall. I previously had these cards like sitting under here, but I don't know, I didn't like it. So now I have all of these like comprehension posters in here, and I also could put like my vocabulary bags in here or any kind of focus wall that you have. These would be great for storing your materials in. For now, I just labeled this one with other because I kind of want to leave it open because you always have like random stuff, and if you don't have a place to put the random stuff, like it just sits out. So I like having this just as an option of places to put like, I don't know, any random papers or anything that get delivered to my room. And then I have another one over here. Yeah, I told you guys, I literally never wear my shoes. I have put one on this cabinet. So this cabinet holds a lot of my paper and some random stuff, but mostly it has paper. My students know that the paper is in there. They know that they're not supposed to go in there. Most of the time they don't, except for when I have a substitute. For whatever reason, the substitute always lets them in there. It drives me crazy, but kind of my solution, or at least a way to decrease that, is I have put this pocket right here with scratch paper. So this is just like anything that maybe was the wrong copy. Instead of throwing it away, I'm gonna put it in here. My students love paper. They love to make books. They love to just like doodle. So I figure if I have a place to put like extra paper that they can access, hopefully it will decrease on them taking my paper. And let me just show you guys how strong these pockets are. So these will hold up to 5 pounds. So like you could put an entire pack of paper in here and it would be fine. Like let me just show you guys. I have to pull so hard in order to get it off, and then listen. Like it is so secure, it's not even funny. Like I can push down so hard on that and it is not going anywhere. So again, these are from STOREX. That is the same company that makes these black mailboxes. I have found as a teacher, while you do want to save money, it is also so worth it to spend money on things that are going to be durable. These mailboxes are amazing. They have held up for 3 years, and I could probably get another like 10 or 15 years out of them. They are so high quality, and same thing with these pockets. I know I just started using them, but I can tell that these are going to last forever. They have a super strong magnet. I love that they come in different colors. I personally went with black because I love just like that classic look in my classroom, but they come in tons of other colors. I cannot tell you guys like how excited I am to have these. I wish I had gotten them sooner. I had no idea that these even existed, but they're seriously the greatest thing. Like my organizational heart is going to explode because I'm so happy right now. I'm going to link these for you guys down in the description. If you want to try them out, go ahead. Like I am not making money off of like you guys buying them. I'm just telling you guys that I think this is a great product, and I definitely think that you would enjoy it just as much as I do. So it's getting hot again in my classroom because while the heat is off, I do not have air conditioning. So it's now like over 80 degrees again. I'm literally like sweating, so pardon my appearance, but I don't even want to check the time because I know that it's after 8 o'clock. However, I'm happy that I stayed late today because I feel just a big like weight off my shoulders because I feel like I was very productive. I got the math test graded. I got them bubbled in. They are done with the exception of like 3 kids that have to make up some parts. I got my pockets on and labeled, and I'm just so excited about those. So I feel good. I feel just like I can finally relax. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go home. I'm going to eat my leftover Chipotle that I should have had for lunch because I'm starving. And then I will catch up with you guys in the morning. Good morning. I feel good today. Like last night I was super productive. I got home obviously kind of late. I think it was like 8:30 when I got home, but I just sat in my office, got stuff done off my to-do list, and then I was able to sit and I was able to do my nails. and I just feel good. I feel like I'm finally getting my to-do list like down, and the more I do now, the less I will have to do later, and that makes me super happy. I did choose to sleep in kind of late. I didn't get up until 7:05, so it's currently 7:30, but I don't have anything that I have to do this morning before my kids come in, so I was like, you know what, I'm sleeping in. I'm gonna go get my coffee, and I will catch up with you guys at school. I wanted to quickly show you guys what I'm doing for math stations today. It is basically going to be a game day, because my students have had 2 straight days of testing, and I'm not going to start a new unit on a Thursday, especially because I'm actually not going to have math tomorrow because I have junior achievement first thing in the morning, so I figured I would just keep it nice and simple. So these blow up dice are from the Target Dollar Spot. I showed you guys in my last Target haul. This was $5 for 4 blow up dice. And they're going to play that with this game. It's called Around the Block Bump. So all they need between the 2 partners is 1 die, and then they need like their marking pieces. So I've got just Unifix cubes that they're going to use as their game pieces. And basically they're going to go around the board, and then they're able to mark off the answers, and they play it just like Bump. So I also have included in here the answer key, because I never really trust my students to like actually get the right answer. Like, that sounds horrible, but I want to make sure that they're actually doing it correctly. So basically after they solve it, their partner will check on here to make sure it's correct, and then if it is correct, they can make their move. So my students are going to play that in partners. This one is just task cards, so it is 3-digit addition task cards. These are in my TPT store, and they have a QR code, so they're going to solve it in partners, and then they will use the iPads to scan the QR code and check their answer. They are also going to play Shut the Box, which I love to play in math because it is super simple. All you need are dry erase boards, dry erase markers, and 3 dice. So my students are going to play in partners. I'll just kind of quickly explain the game. You would write the numbers 1 through 12 on your board, and you're going to roll the 3 dice. So after you roll it, you have to use all 3 dice to try to make one of those numbers. So for example, here I could do 6 plus 6 is 12, minus 1 is 11. So I would erase the number 11. And you have to keep going until you've exhausted all of your options. Okay, so here I could do 6 minus 6 is 0, plus 1 is 1, and I would erase 1. And then you keep going until you've erased as many numbers as you possibly can with that combination of dice, and then once you don't have any more moves, you're going to switch and the other person is going to go. So I love that game because it's great for fact practice, but it requires like literally no prep whatsoever. And then my last station is going to be my students playing Prodigy on the rest of the iPads and the laptops. So I have 4 groups, and there's going to be about 6 students in each group. One of the groups will only have 5, so I will probably follow that group around to be able to be that person's partner.
Oh.
4.
Good.
4 minus.
All right, do you have any more options?
Yeah, boy. Yeah, good. Well, I'm gonna roll my down. That's all. Seriously, you got it, sir. And I have a 94. Maybe on the third round.
Roll it again.
We're gonna go again. Wait, this race?
Yes.
Let's see, roll somebody in Atlanta. Same one.
Roll again.
You. What?
Clap once if you can hear me. Clap twice. You have 1 minute to get your station cleaned up and be ready to switch.
How was that 724?
Well, you had 4. You had 291. You didn't have 200s.
Take away 5.
Yep, 5 ones.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then take away 4 to
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So what's your answer?
Let me show you this.
You have 110 and you have 2 1s. So how much is that?
10, 11, 12.
12. So go ahead and mark off 12 with your cube. All right. Go ahead and erase your board. And timer's about to go off. Shark bait. Clean up your station. Be ready to rotate.
text. Dean, where's the text? That's what I'm trying to find. Me too. I know.
What do you think about Pete the cat?
We think it's to entertain.
Okay. So yesterday during recess, I had a student come up to me and tell me that two boys had kicked her, which, I mean, they always kind of play and they're always kind of like kicking at each other's feet. So I didn't take it super seriously. But then the mom messaged me last night and showed me a picture of a bruise on her shin. I was like, oh my goodness, I had no idea it was that bad of a kick. So those two students who did the kicking, which one of them was Knuckles, I had them write apology notes during recess today. So Knuckles like did a decent job. He said, I'm so sorry for kicking you. I won't do it again. I will be your friend. Fine. My other friend doesn't really understand how to do an apology. It says, sorry for kicking you, but next time don't punch me. And then it had bye in his name, and it said, sorry for kicking. I would be your friend, but you punched me. So sorry. It is now lunch. Overall, the morning has been okay. It hasn't been great, but it also could have been a lot worse. So I'm not gonna complain. Math groups went pretty smoothly with the exception of one student who got a huge attitude and had to be removed, but after he had time to himself, he was better. Then we went over cause and effect and we watched a vocabulary video and we did the activity where they each got a card and they had to find their partner who had, and they had to figure out who had the cause and who had the effect because we were supposed to do that the other day and we didn't have time. Then we had junior achievement. Then we had recess, came back in, and I introduced author's purpose. So we looked at some posters about it, watched a vocabulary video, and then we did an activity where they each got a pie piece that had a book title on it, and they had to decide if the author's purpose of that book would be to persuade, inform, or entertain. That is part of the Rooted in Reading for May for the book Fireflies. And then I took my class to lunch. So I am thankfully going to have time to enjoy my lunch today. I actually packed a lunch today, so I'm gonna go eat that. And then shortly after lunch, my students will go to music, so I will catch back up with you then. So I did not vlog while my students were at music, and I will talk about that in just a minute, but I forgot to send home the field day letters. So I suck as a teacher, plus these are magnets that were given to me by the junior achievement person, and I have forgotten 2 days in a row now to send those home. Okay. It is 3:45 and I'm not staying here 1 minute later than I have to because it has been a rough afternoon, of course, and I'm very frustrated currently, so I need to go to the gym to let out my frustration. So here's what happened. When we were lining up for music, I had two friends who were being disruptive and laughing and trying to show off. So the entire class sat back down, we re-lined up. It was still the same two friends, so at that point I pulled them out. They had to walk with me to music, which of course they still didn't care. They're laughing, carrying on. Drop off the class in music, bring them back to the room to make phone calls, which one of my friends was Chuckles, of course. Made a phone call to his mom. She didn't answer. I left a voicemail, and he basically told me he doesn't care because he's not going to get in trouble. So there's that. Then the other friend suddenly wants to start apologizing and trying to like pull out the crocodile tears, telling me that she's sorry and she didn't mean to. No, you're sorry that you're getting in trouble for it. You're not sorry that you did it because you thought it was hilarious when you were doing it. So no, you're getting a phone call home. Left a message for her mom, which her mom had actually just emailed me. So I ended up emailing her mom as well just to make sure that she got my message. Took them back to music, and I just kind of sat there the rest of my planning time because I didn't even want to vlog. I just kind of wanted to sit there because I was frustrated. Picked up my class for music, and they actually did a pretty good job. I introduced new vocabulary. They did flaps, and I had a couple friends starting to act up. My friend from last week, plus Knuckles, started acting up, but they got it together. So I gave my class the ice pops because today was which was ice pops. Immediately after they get them, they start misbehaving again. And I'm so tired, honestly, of giving them rewards and giving them treats and then having them misbehave a second after they get it. Like, it's really getting old. And I know a lot of you are probably gonna say, well, don't give it to them. Trust me, they have not gotten most of the things for the countdown. Art day, they only got to do one of the art projects. B, the balloons, only like half the class got to do them. Or not balloons, bubbles. Bubbles, definitely bubbles, not balloons. For donut day, one of my friends didn't get it. Game day, we did not get to play games. Frisbees, we did not get to throw frisbees. So yes, I have been withholding it. I gave them the ice pops because they were doing better, but literally as soon as they got them, the same friends that are always acting out start acting out. And it's like, I have friends that have lost privileges for the field trip. I have friends who have lost the incentive. I have friends that have lost the movie incentive that we are holding like as a grade level. I have friends that have lost field day events. And it's like, I literally have nothing else that I can take from them, and it's just frustrating, especially when contacting parents doesn't usually make a difference because the parents just aren't involved. And I don't know, I'm definitely at the point where I'm ready for the end of the year. Like, I'm trying to stay positive, but at this point of the week, like, I'm just so tired and so over it that it's hard because I don't know. I'm trying to just remember how thankful I am for my students who are doing the right thing. And I do have, you know, for every kid that I have that's not doing the right thing, I have another kid who is always doing the right thing. And I'm so thankful for them. And I'm trying to talk individually with those students as much as I can just to let them know like how proud I am of them. But I'm gonna get out of here and go to the gym. Good news is I don't really have anything to do tonight. And I don't think I would do anything anyway because I don't have the energy. Like, I need a night to myself. So I'm gonna go do that. I will catch up with you guys in the morning. Good news is tomorrow is a double special day, plus I have a volunteer coming. Okay guys, I totally did a bad thing, and I'm gonna blame it on my boyfriend because after the gym, I wanted to go to Dollar Tree. And if he had come with me, I would not have gotten this much, but he didn't want to come, so I ended up buying way more than I needed. First of all, these snack containers are one of my absolute favorite things at Dollar Tree, and my Dollar Trees around me have not had these in months. And normally they're 2 for $1. They actually had them in a 3-pack for $1. These are perfect for storing crayons, they're perfect for storing playing cards. I literally bought every single pack that they had. And then I got bins, which I did not need. However, these are the same bins that I'm currently using in my library, so I know that they are durable, and they finally have them in black, which I'm so excited about because I love black storage bins. So these are like the paper size tray type bins, I don't know what to call them, but these are currently what I use to organize like my math groups, and I have 3 of them. I have a pink, an orange, and a blue one. But I love that these would be all in black. So I went ahead and got 4 of these because I usually have 4 groups, and it works out that one of them doesn't need a bin. But I figured if I go ahead and get 4 of them in black, that way they all match. I am really happy about those. Then I got these like kind of smaller bins, like they're not super big, but I got 6 of these, and they actually have lids, and that's kind of the reason that I ended up going ahead and getting them. I have no idea what I'm going to store in them, but I like the fact that they have lids and I could stack them. And then I got these slightly bigger bins, and I only got 4 of these. I will definitely probably go back and get more once I figure out what I'm going to use them for, but I figured I'd go ahead and just grab some just in case. I like that they are black, so even if I don't use them in my classroom, I could definitely use them like in my home office to help store some things in there. So I ended up getting this shirt that says I'd rather be reading a picture book, and tomorrow is a casual day, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to wash it tonight so I can wear it tomorrow. Good morning, it is Friday. Thank goodness, I've been waiting all week to say that. And I think, if my math is correct, we only have 3 Fridays left, which is a very good feeling. I am wearing my shirt that I got from the Right Stuff Chicks. It is a small, and originally it looked like kind of big. However, after washing it, it shrunk and it fits perfectly now, and it's super comfy. So I highly recommend these. I will link it for you down in the description. I'm gonna go get my coffee as always, and then I will catch up with you when I get to school. You guys see what I deal with like every morning. It is now my afternoon special, and I think that kind of sums up my day, the fact that I haven't been able to vlog at all. And honestly, right now, I don't think I'm even in a place to vlog because it has been another day like that one last week where I was basically in tears all day. And I don't have much positive to say right now, and I'm honestly like just trying to keep it together until the end of the day because it's been that bad. So I have to go pull some students from PE because I have to count their Panda Bucks and figure out if they are going to be able to go to the incentive because our numbers are due at 3:45. So I'm going to go do that, maybe do some grading, just something to like get my mind off of it. And then I will sit down after school when I am mentally in a better place because I don't think I can even talk about my day right now without like breaking down in tears. So I will catch back up with you guys after school. Good news is my desk isn't horrible. I have my lesson planning binder out and I have a super student paper ready to go for a student. I have drawings that 2 of my students gave me after art, my lunch that I didn't eat, and actually my parent volunteer brought me in these little Chick-fil-A chicken bites this morning, which I was so happy about and so needed today. And I didn't even get a chance to finish them because it has been that kind of day, but otherwise my desk actually isn't too bad. So that is one silver lining I have going for me right now.
I used to walk these roads with you. Can't remember the last time I ran without you. Where do I go? Where do I go from here? Where do I go? Where do I go from here?
So now that I've done some cleaning and organizing and grading and I feel much better mentally, let me show you what my room looks like. Best news is that this back counter looks so much better. I have all of this stuff out from underneath and I have all of this stuff off of the counter because my volunteer did come today. So she put all the home links in the folders that were back here for our math homework. She put all of the papers out in the hallway, took the old ones down and sorted them into their mailboxes. This is a laptop cart that is in my room because we have to take RI, reading inventory. It used to be called SRI, but then Scholastic doesn't own it anymore, so now it's just RI, but it's basically an online reading test, and we have to take that first thing on Monday morning, and it is taken on the computer, so my tech guy brought the laptop cart in for us. Back table is pretty clean. Student desks aren't horrible. I do have a desk over here, which actually was for Knuckles. It is my breakfast desk, so you'll notice I just took it from over there. He requested to sit by himself today, which I thought was going to be a good thing for him, but he still just could not control himself over here, so I'm not sure if I'm going to leave it there for him or not. I will figure it out next week, I guess. My library is okay. It's a little bit better than it has been. I've had books just like spewed between the bins. It's a little bit better, but I definitely need to go through and clean it as the end of the school year comes to a close. Homework bin and classwork bin are empty, which is great. Ketchup and pickles bin is pretty empty with the exception of some friends who were not here today to do theirs. These are like 10 frame cards that are part of everyday mathematics, and I had my volunteer cut off the lamination. I laminated them several weeks ago. Probably should have done it at the beginning of the school year, but that didn't happen. Laminated them a couple weeks ago, and I had her cut them out, and then after school I hole punched them and put them on a ring, which it's kind of pointless because I'm not going to use them the rest of the school year, but that way the teacher who has them next year will have them already done. This bin was given to me for Teacher Appreciation Week from our PTA, and I had just kind of stuck it here like under my tissue box because I didn't know what to do with it, but I decided to put it on top of this bin because I have random library books that we find and no one like claims them as theirs, so I've started just putting them in here. This is my sign that I took down in order to put these magnetic pockets up, and I decided it's not even worth hanging up somewhere. You know, we have less than 4 weeks left, so I'm just gonna leave it down. I'll go ahead and store it in my closet or something. Still never ate my lunch, did not have time, but I did finish that Chick-fil-A breakfast that my volunteer was so sweet and brought to me this morning. Rest of my desk is completely clear. Grade bin is completely clear as well, with the exception of an answer key, and I'm holding on to this because I still have friends that have to finish it for ketchup and pickles next week. So friends, it is 4:40. My original plan was to leave school right at 3:45, go home and edit my video, and then my boyfriend is going to be home around 6:45. He is taking a final exam currently, and so he could not work tonight, and he is never off on Fridays. So I'm planning on spending the night with him, and I so desperately need that right now. However, I did end up staying about an hour late because I knew, as much as I didn't want to, I knew that sitting and grading and getting my room cleaned and organized would make me much happier on Monday morning and much less stressed. and I need that very desperately right now. So to say that today was a rough day is an understatement. As I told you guys briefly earlier, it mirrored that day that I had last week where I was in tears. Again, I have a group of 6 or 7 kids that feed off of each other, and I literally had them as separated as I could. I had kids all over my room sitting by themselves. It still didn't help, and long story short, because I don't really want to sit here and just go on and on about it, because I kind of want to just move on, to be honest. I don't want to sit there and let it affect me. One of my students got sent to the office. I wrote him a referral. He got ISS. I had a lot of kids stay in from recess and a lot of kids losing field day events, and it was a rough day. I will put it this way. I had a volunteer in my room this morning, and she knows these kids because she has volunteered with the teachers like when they were in kindergarten and first grade and so on. So she told me that if she were in my room, she would probably be an alcoholic, and she's surprised that I'm not one. And it's a good thing I don't like to drink, because otherwise I probably would be one. I am trying to remember, you know, it's the end of the year. This always happens, and I'm trying to remember all the factors that cause misbehavior at the end of the year, such as, you know, they know that you're leaving and they know that they're not going to see you over the summer, and they kind of like take it out on you. And I know all of that. However, you know, ultimately, I still expect them to make the right choices. And I know that they're kids, but still, I mean, I have some of them where I ask them not to talk or whatever it happens to be, and they will sit there and look at me, turn and talk to the person next to them and laugh about it. And again, I take recess, I'm taking incentives, I'm taking field day events, I'm calling parents, I'm doing everything that I feel like I can, and they don't care. And I've never had that before. Like my first year of teaching, I had a rough group, but ultimately they cared, and like when they had consequences, they would change it. This group of kids, literally, it's like they don't care. They owe the recess and laugh about it. They literally don't care. And I'm like flabbergasted at that, because I have never experienced that with a group of kids before. And it's sad. It really, really is. And I feel for them. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I can only do as much as I'm doing. And I feel like I'm doing everything I can. And that's all I can do. And unfortunately, like, you're not always going to completely change every kid's life. That's the reality of it. And it's kind of what sucks, because you think of being a teacher and you're going to influence all the kids and you're gonna just completely change their life for the better. And reality, that's not the case. And I do think that we positively influence more of them than we realize, and we make a bigger impact than we realize. And a lot of times they don't express that to us, and they don't even realize it until later. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to positively influence everyone. And it sucks. It's not a good feeling, especially when you feel like you are trying to do everything you can. You're putting in time, you're putting in effort, you're putting in money, you're building relationships with them, and it still isn't enough. And that's a really crappy feeling. I know that I shouldn't let it get to me. However, I am a person that cares. I am so passionate about teaching, and I'm such a perfectionist that when not that I feel like I'm failing, but I just feel like I'm not doing a good enough job, and that kills me. It really does. You know, I want to be that teacher for every single one of my kids that 2, 3, 5, 10 years down the road, they remember as being their favorite teacher because they helped them grow educationally, and they had a relationship and cared about them wholeheartedly. And it sucks feeling like I'm not going to be that for some of my kids. You know it's a long rant when your vlog camera shuts off because it's overheating because you've been filming so long. Part of the reason that I'm kind of talking about this, again, because I know some of you are probably tired of hearing it, but hear me out. Last week, at the end of my week, when I had a crappy week, or whenever it was that I did that like really long rant, I think it was towards the beginning of the week, I know I talked mostly just about like the behavior and why it was frustrating. And I think some people took it the wrong way. They took it as me like talking bad about my kids, and that wasn't it at all. And I want to make that very clear now. why I was frustrated is because of everything I'm talking about right now. The fact that it makes me feel inadequate as a teacher, and it's frustrating because I care so much about them, and to feel like I'm not helping them as much as I could or whatever bothers me a lot. And that's why I was ranting about it. And guys, at the end of the day, I'm human and I have emotions like this, and I get overwhelmed and I get stressed, probably more than the average person. But again, it's because I freaking care, and I'm not gonna apologize for that. So if you saw my rant last week or any of the rants I've done this week, I don't even remember, it's all a blur now. It's not that I'm calling my kids out on being bad or anything. It's more so me. Like, that's what I'm trying to get at, and that's what I'm trying to have come across to you guys. So I'm sorry if anyone took it the wrong way last week or earlier this week. It's not about them, it's about me. But I need to wrap it up because my camera is mad at me for filming so much. And I need to go home, honestly. For me, like, I need to go home and have a good weekend and relax and just remember why I do this. So I know originally I was going to film a video about the end of the year this weekend. I don't remember if I told you guys that or not, but if I didn't, that's what I was planning on doing. However, after having 2 bad weeks in a row, and after breaking freaking 20,000 subscribers, which I'm gonna talk about in my next video, I'm not gonna go on a rant now, but I'm just so excited. I'm gonna do a little bit of a different video that you guys will see tomorrow. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. You will have to stay tuned and check it out. But if this vlog helped you in any way, if it resonated with you because you're going through the same thing, or it helped you realize that when you go into teaching, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, unfortunately. And if this video in any way has helped you, please give it a thumbs up, because when you do that, it helps it to be able to be seen by more teachers, and that's why I have this channel. I want to help other teachers in any way that I can. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to me if you haven't already, because you don't want to miss any future videos. Thank you so much, as always, for watching and for supporting me, for commenting. I'm trying to respond as much as I can on Instagram and Facebook and emails and comments and all that, but I'm also trying to look out for me right now. And if I have to kind of put the rest of the social media stuff on hold for the next couple of weeks so that I can mentally survive the rest of the school year, that's what I've got to do, and I hope you guys understand that. But thank you, because I do appreciate all of your support. You guys are keeping me going. I will catch you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of this video and for supporting my YouTube channel. If you want to check out any of my older videos, you can use the 2 links right down here. If you want to subscribe to me so you don't miss any future videos, you can use the link right up here. In the description box, you will find links to all of my social media sites, my Teachers Pay Teachers store, and my Amazon store, and I will catch you guys in the next one.